So I'm Brazilian, I'm black, I'm a woman, I'm working class, I'm lesbian. And I'm here to tell you three things about our future. So first, the threats to our community are real. You may have seen a little bit more about my country, Brazil. The political environment is totally scary. I have friends who fear for their lives and well-being. Homophobes and transphobes have been emboldened by our president. I think many of you can relate, right? So, strong men have assumed position of power throughout the world, and who do they select to marginalize? Us. So many of us. Women, indigenous, black, LGBTQ, and the list goes on and on. So it's not just political rhetoric. Recently, Brazil ranked #1 in rates of violence against LGBTQ community. Every 48 hours, a trans person is murdered in Brazil. Every 19 hours, an LGBTQ person is murdered in Brazil. So think about that. We have been in this summit twice that long. And we may never see their names in the paper. We may never look their parents or their friends in the eyes to express our sympathies, but we sure feel their loss. We know there is sickness in any society that allows such violence to continue. But we also know, and this is my second point, right, that our community is resilient and still forging progress in the darkest days of threats. You know why? Because we are strategic. This last year, we won a major victory for the human rights of LGBTQ people in Brazil. Our country had no laws protecting people from homophobia or transphobia. After last year's election, we were panicked that we might lose our right to marry and there would be more rollbacks. So advocates came together and sped up our court case proceedings to ensure that politics would not trump fairness under the law. And we went back and forth all the way to the Supreme Court. And in May of this year, Brazil became one of the largest countries to legally ban homophobia and transphobia. Yeah. And because of us, the collective in this room, in the last year, from India to Brazil, love is legalized and hate is criminalized. So, laws don't change culture, right? But they can influence change. Once we have a precedent in the Supreme Court, people who are biased in their hearts will think at least twice before saying something out loud at work, right? And this is where Out and Equal has been so vital. Since the first Brazil summit 4 years ago, Out and Equal has partnered with us on the ground and shown the business community that they have a voice. And when Out and Equal, JP Morgan, and a coalition of organizations put forward the first ever public statement from the business community affirming support for LGBTQ equality, it sent a message that no matter who wins the election, our march forward will continue. after Bolsonaro was elected, we clung to that. Employers have the power to drive cultural change from inside out. So the mother who can tell her coworkers about her transgender daughter becomes the first accepting friend to her gay neighbor. Workplace becomes incubators for change. And finally, there has been a lot of talk about millennials lately. So we are snowflakes, we are impatient, we are this, we are that. Well, the lawyer who argued the Supreme Court case leading Brazil outlining homophobia and transphobia is a millennial. She's Brazilian, she's black, she's a woman, she's working class, she's lesbian, she is the future. She's me, right?